material that we've covered in the course. Some of these review questions will be new. Some of them will be you've seen multiple times. All right, let's begin with this one. Stop and start as always. Okay, so one of the things we want to be able to do is exchange currencies or anything. It could be measurements of any type. So how many dollars are in 250 euros? Well, we can say 215 euros and $1.14 or $1.14 per euro. Now my euros can cancel out and I'm left with 214 times 1.14, which gives me a total of $245.10. As far as the euros and dollars, I have to convert dollars to euros, which means I'm going to use the bottom one because I want the euros left when I'm done. So $337 times 0.88 euros per dollar. Now the dollars can cancel out. And I get 337 times 0.88, which comes to a total of 296.56 euros. All right, next up. Solving percentage problems. Stop and start. Okay, so what we've got here is a jacket that costs $137 and you have to pay a sales tax of 7%. Now we all have gone shopping enough to know that sales tax is an increase in the price. You certainly don't get money off for sales tax. So the final cost is going to be the labeled price plus 7% of the labeled price, which almost like factoring here is 107% times the labeled price, which is 107% times $137. And 107% converted to a decimal is 1.07. Of means times in mathematics. So 1.07 times 137 is 146.59. So that is the cost including tax for the jacket. Now let's review the rule of 72 a little bit. And remember, basically 72 divided by the interest rate is the number of years it takes to double, or 72 divided by the number of years gives you the interest rate needed to double. Go ahead. Okay, so taking a look at this, 72 divided by, it says, well, you know what? Well, that's strange. Oh no, this is right. Okay, that works. Never mind. Almost thought I made a mistake here. Earns 18% compounded interest. So 72 divided by 18 is 4. So in 4 years, the money is going to double. So here's my little table. In 4 years, 5,000 becomes 10,000. In 8 years, it becomes 20,000. And in 12 years, it becomes $40,000. So in 12 years, Jenny will have 40 grand. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the next one here. Another practice problem. Go ahead, stop and start. All right, so here's a picture, because I always like to draw a picture. When I have words and it's about shapes, I like to draw the shape so I can see it. So in this case, it is 21 feet and 12 feet and 3 feet are my dimensions. And if I'm doing volume, it is best known as the area of the base times the height, or length times width times height. And that gives me 21 feet times 12 feet times 3 feet, which is 756 cubic feet or feet cubed. And at that point you might say, oh, great, wonderful. But, oh, what are they asking for? As Mr. Braze would say, as we're looking in here, it says cubic yards. And my answer is in cubic feet. So I have to convert a little bit. It's kind of like you record a conversation that you have with your friends, and then you're going to put it in a very formal writing paper. You've got to change, yo, man, sup, to, hello, how was your day going today? That's what we want to do. We want to convert from feet cubed 72 yards cubed. What I notice is we're going from small to big. And whenever you go from small to big, you divide. In this case, the factor is 3 because there's 3 feet in a yard. So I got to do 756 divided by 3 times because it's cubed. Okay? 756 divided by 27, which is 3 times 3 times 3, is 28 cubic yards. If you didn't like doing it that way, you could do 756 cubic feet and just write 1 yard is 3 feet 3 times, and you divide by those 3's and you come up with the same exact number of 28. Okay. Well, those feet go tie-dye. All right. So now this one is not showing. So we're going to have to skip through this guy. It must be an old diagram. They wanted me to save it in a different format. So we are missing it on this. I do apologize for that. No, it's one less problem that you have to do. Here we go. Go ahead. Look that formula up. We gave it to you before the last test. Okay, so the amount of money in the bank is going to be the principal times 1 plus R over N, where R is the interest rate as a decimal, divided by N, which is the number of times it is compounded per year. And then that same exact N, they always match, multiplied by T, the time in years. So if we're putting 50 grand in, 1 plus, the interest rate is 2.75% as a decimal, is 0.0275. Since it's compounded monthly, that means that we're going to do 12 times a year, and then the exponent, the 12s always match. We're leaving it in there for 8 years, which means 50,000 times, and then I just did the calculator, 0.0275 divided by 12 plus 1. That's 1.00229166667 to the 96th power, which is 62,288. That's how much money you have in there. All right. Let's try this one about Bill investing $12,000 compounded annually at 12%. How long until he has 96 grand? Okay, what we're really looking for you to recognize here is that this is a rule of 72 situation. No deposits and withdrawals, annual interest. It tells you how long it takes to double. So 72 divided by 12 is 6 years. Every 6 years it doubles. So we start with in the 6 years we started with 12,000. So 6 years later, and this does not mean greater than. I should have used a different symbol. 6 years it becomes 24,000. Another 6 years it becomes 48, because that's what the rule of 72 says, is how long to double. Another 6 years, $96,000. So it's going to take 18 years. Okay, here is another stop and start. And unfortunately, I guess I forgot to animate the answer to this. So let's make sure that you come up with the same animation. And by the way, the question that before this one and this question were 2 questions that were most missed on the test, 2 of the most missed. There were 3 total that were most commonly missed. These were 2 out of the 3. So I wanted to make sure that we reviewed these. We just did the previous question. With this one, what we're basically saying is this. I don't know if you thought maybe you should use compound interest, but no, it says a bond. And a bond is always simple interest. Maybe you missed that. Bond is always simple interest. So I equals PRT. Start with $1,500, right? Because that's the principal. The interest rate is 3%, which is 0.03, and the time is 5 years. So bonds are simple interest all the time. When I multiply them out, I get $225. So that's how much interest the bond earns in 5 years. $1,725 is how much is in the account. Okay, so that takes us through the review section. It's time to slide on in and start doing new stuff.